Yo, I'm pretty hungry. Do you got anything?
You're hungry?
Yeah.
Aren't you full from Thanksgiving already?
Like, it's been roughly 24 hours.
Right.
So I want to try and make sure that I get some,
actual
food in me.
Well, seeing as how it's not actually Thanksgiving yet by the day we're recording this, no, I have no leftovers yet. But what I do have for you, Kevin, are trailer leftovers.
Fucking no and over here. No, it's no budding. Jesus, read a Tina Fey book, man.
Is this an improv thing?
I get it. Never mind.
You're so disappointed in me. I can see it in your eyes that I'm not as good at improv as you.
I just have to come to terms with a lot right now.
I was really excited about that. I thought it was funny.
I am too. It's just since we started with, it's a day after Thanksgiving, and you're like, well, since this is before Thanksgiving, I'm like, what the fuck?
I thought it was a fun bait and switch. I thought it was a fun
bait and switch that holds no bearing for the listener, man.
Look. In the grand scheme of things,
yes,
it's funny because. Let me explain the joke. It's funny because. For the listener, it's after Thanksgiving. But
Correct.
For us, it's before Thanksgiving.
Right.
So we weren't on the same page. That's why it's funny.
We weren't on the same page. As that much we can agree on. I just think that we shouldn't be swindling our viewer, right out the gate. If I'm like, oh yeah, it's after Thanksgiving, and you're like, it's before Thanksgiving, they're going to be like, how can we take these guys seriously? How can I tell the truth from them?
See, now that we've done the explanation part, which is arguably the funniest part, right? Tell me.
I made my noise.
Give me verification on this. Now they're not lost, and they can trust us again because we're telling both sides. Both sides are true. It's not Thanksgiving right now.
Both sides.
It's both correct. It's not Thanksgiving yet here,
right.
But for them, it is post-Thanksgiving. The work, it's multi-layered, Kevin. it's a lot of, it's a thinker, and we've explained it, so we can move on now, right? With the theme song.
You can't haul your stuff without a trailer hitch. Trailer hitch.
Releases by the movie trailers. We're trailer hits. This movie might totally suck, but the whiskey sure is going down fine. Yeah, we're trailer hits.
Welcome to Trailer Hitch, which is either before or after Thanksgiving, depending on who you listen to. If you ask me, Kevin, this is after Thanksgiving.
And if you ask me, James, your co-host,
yes.
It is definitely before Thanksgiving.
We'll duck season, wabbit season this another time, because we do have to talk about movie trailers. This is a trailer podcast where we write and review movie trailers. We rate them on a scale of need to see more, or never need to see. If James and I both like a trailer, we give it a need to see rating. Go see the movie, report back to you guys in a segment called Trailer in the Rear View, in which we review the trailer in retrospect, see if it properly set us up for the film.
That's right.
And then review the movie writ large as well.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
But
so
in the meantime,
we do have other trailers to talk about. Now, this was a particularly slow fortnight for trailers.
Is it the holiday? Like, it's around the holiday time?
Think so,
either before or after Thanksgiving? The trailer people.
I'm sure studios just looked around and went, look, Frozen 2 is coming out. No one is going to give a damn about what we drop on the internet. Let them enjoy their turkey. The biggest one that we have for you guys today is Antebellum. Which is a teaser, so that's going to be in our teaser trailer showroom. Luckily for Tune-Ups, we do have another Cats trailer to talk about. James and I'm trying to think of, a word for pleased but cat punny. I don't know if you have one off the top of your head.
With whiskers?
We didn't think it was perfect.
See, that's too much.
Too easy, right?
Too easy.
That was my gut.
Look, we'll keep thinking about it, but we'll move on from that. When we get to Cats again, we better have something better.
We better have something better by the time we get to Cats. And in addition to those trailers, well, you got to get a main drag trailer in here.
You have to.
And
we have to.
So we are going to be talking about The Christmas Prince 3, The Royal Baby.
You heard that correct. And believe it or not, the trailer unpacks a lot more than even the title does.
And there is a lot to unpack from that title.
Yeah.
It's a Russian doll of a premise.
Honestly,
and a
we
trailer.
should describe it as Netflix presents The Christmas Prince 3, the royal baby. Is that what, I already forgot. Midway through,
it's such a long title.
Yeah, midway through, I was like,
It's the Stairway of Heaven of titles.
I've
man.
completely forgotten already. Just mumble like Stairway to Heaven, so people will understand.
Royal baby. So yeah, we got all those for you. Now, first, we are going to be doing a tune-up. This is where in which we've already reviewed a trailer. We are now taking a look at the second one to see if anything major has changed for us.
That's right, yeah.
And we do have a new trailer for Cats.
Yep. And just like we have a new trailer, we have a new pun that I'm excited about.
Hit us.
Because I thought of it.
Hit us.
In like the 20 seconds
Okay.
that we said, we got to think of another one.
It feels like you're still building to it because of wording it.
We're going to see if the claws come out on this one.
Meow.
Ouch.
Tonight is a magical night where I choose the cat that deserves a new life.
Come on! Spotlight. And a drum roll, please.
Cross paws.
Come, we're about to begin.
I love it.
I don't love it.
Yeah, it's another hairball, wouldn't you say? It kind of is. Here's what I'll say, though. So, the last episode we did, we got to do a tune-up where a trailer did a radical 180, where we looked at the first Sonic the Hedgehog trailer. We confirmed it was an abomination.
God, that's right.
And then the second trailer came out, and we still gave it need to see mores, but it was so vastly improved.
I was like,
that first trailer.
I was mildly entertained by it, and not in like an ironic way.
Yeah, definitely. Now, with this one, I do think this is a better trailer than the first one, because this at least gives you some semblance as to why there are humanoid cats with anatomically correct butts dancing.
Does it?
It does, yeah, because we have Judi Dench in VO saying, all right, so tonight I'm going to pick which cat gets an extra life, and so y'all better fucking come with it.
Is
that what it is? Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So I watched this trailer, and it opens with Judi Dench. And the way she described it, I'm like, is she going to kill a cat? And then the cat thinks it's like, but I get to go to like cat heaven. And that's, you're choosing who to kill.
Right.
But it's like the island, Michael Bay's not, great, I won the lottery to go to the island. And they just go there to harvest your organs for your clone.
What came first, Michael Bay or the cats? I
Definitely. Michael Bay came first. I mean, he was definitely born before Cats was a thing. Right?
I don't know, man.
I don't know how old Michael Bay is. Anyway, he's very influenced by cats, and it shows. So maybe it's a 9 life thing. We're trying to grant another cat
maybe
another
a cat
life.
lost one, and they found a mushroom in the forest, and they're all right, eat that so that way you get another.
Exactly. Yeah. What is clear is Judi Dench is like the decider, though.
Right. And yeah, she is the judge, jury, and potential cat executioner. Yeah.
And all these other cats are scrambling to be the person she chooses.
They want to be chosen.
Yeah.
Yes.
And some of them nefarious, some of them kind-hearted, and all of them very light on their feet. All 4 of them.
I was going to say all of them are trying to show how good they are through interpretive dance. And that's apparently the way cats decide who goes to... not judging by actions, not judging by character. Yeah. It is purely just, can you do the cha-cha slide?
Yeah.
And we get a lot of cha-cha slide.
We do get a lot of cha-cha slide, and we get a lot of slapsticky stuff, which doesn't really land for me.
Poor Rebel Wilson.
Rebel Wilson... I don't know what it is. Every trailer she's in, she has to be like, she's falling over, she's breaking something on accident, and
it's contractual, really. It feels like it's contractual.
It's got to be in her contract, and it's just so odd because you get excited because she is funny. She's a funny actress. I've seen her be funny without falling over. Yet every movie she's in, the marketing cannot help but just put that front and center.
Correct.
And hell, like this chain twirling she does that hits her in the face, that might be the one like physical thing she gets hit with.
We know because from the first trailer, she also falls over. Because they made it a point to show that, too. So we're going to get quite a few Rebel Wilson.
Oh, you're right. I forgot about that one.
With something.
You know, but
isn't it romantic also kind of beat the shit out of her? But, like, she got more
have you seen Isn't It Romantic?
I have,
yet?
Yeah.
Because what's nice about that is it's more than that. And I have to believe that Cats is also more than that. But it's just so odd that marketing for Rebel Wilson is always like front and center, we got to show her falling down or getting hit with something.
And additionally, if it sounds strange to you that we're going really far out of our way to talk about Rebel Wilson in the Cats trailer, it's because, one, there's not much to talk about with this Cats trailer, and two, it's symptomatic of the whole, which is this isn't really quite coming together. So it's like the comedy is definitely missing. James Corden's like...
Dude.
I say to you,
James Corden... I have never disliked James Corden. He's fine and inoffensive, but I've never really found him funny. But that's okay. Like, I understand that a lot of people do. This is the first thing I've seen James Corden in that I'm just like, he's doing a shtick and trying too hard to do this shtick, whatever this is.
Right.
And that's not on him. Like, that's probably on this, how it was written, how it was directed, and a little bit how he performed it.
Correct.
But I just didn't like any time he opened his mouth and said something, I was like, I kind of rolled my eyes a little bit with the James Corden stuff.
Definitely, yeah. And then I think as a whole, from a story perspective, I'm clinging to Judi Dench giving us any amount of context for what's happening here. Like, it's a balloon animal in the ocean. It's the only thing keeping me buoyant right now.
That is such a weird analogy, but I love it to death, Kevin.
Thank you. Because ultimately, this trailer, and I think the first trailer too, is trying to sell you on grandeur and wonder.
Yes.
And I don't...
Spectacle.
Yeah. Absolutely. But because it is such an inhuman... Literally, it's called Cats. It's an inhuman conceit. And then we are now trying to sell us on the spectacle and the wonder of it. I'm just left perpetually confused. So again, okay, cool. Judi Dench is giving me something to go off of. As like, this is why they're all dancing. It doesn't necessarily excuse the butts. It doesn't necessarily excuse that from a lighting standpoint, there are points where the VFX kind of looks like a PS3 cutscene. It doesn't entirely excuse that, but now I'm like, okay, I'm at least getting some basis for what's going on here. And then it is just honestly a matter of, is this for you or not? And for me, no, I'm good.
This isn't for me on the surface level, like in terms of being like, oh, am I going to go to that because I know I'll enjoy it? No. It is still mildly fascinating, though, isn't it?
It just purely
the talent they have in this is insanity. Like
Ian McKellen. They gloss over Ian McKellen. He's a knight.
Judi Dench. Idris Elba, Taylor Swift,
yeah.
Like, love her or hate her, fucking a talented person, like, absolutely talented. But she's just, like, in it doing, like, a shimmy. Like,
yeah.
Like, I'm like, what is this?
You don't hear her sing? You don't get a line from her? Nope.
No, she does. Maybe she's just in it because I know she's bringing a new song to it. I don't know if you knew that.
Really?
But yeah, they wrote a new song for this movie. Which, I don't know how I feel about that when classic musicals do that in their, like, film versions. But if you're gonna get someone to do it, Taylor Swift, you can't get much better than Taylor Swift. But it's like, if that's the only reason she's in it, that's still a little odd to me. But the talent in this is undeniable. Like,
Definitely,
there's a wild amount of talent in this. It's still a little unclear to me who the main character is. I know we had that brief discussion with the last trailer.
Because the last trailer definitely made it feel like it was the white cat.
Yeah, but someone told us, no, it's the Jennifer Hudson.
Yeah, we also got the impression that it was an ensemble piece, but then it's also, it could just be like this other cat was the man. Like, the trailer definitely pushes you in 7 different directions, and it's all CGI fur wherever you look.
And just when you think you got a grasp on it, Idris Elba just poofs into, like, nothingness.
Oh, fuck, right. Dude, that was the craziest...
You almost forgot about that.
Yeah.
Did he get chosen by Judi Dench? Was that, like, the end?
Yeah.
'Cause he got chosen, and poof, you're dead.
Or can he just do that? And if that's the case, I feel like he should be the chosen one at that point. If the cat has mustered illusions.
all these son of a bitches are just dancing.
Yeah.
Watch this. Snap, I'm gone.
I'm dust.
Impressive.
I'm fucking
Impressive,
Infinity Warring myself.
Right?
It's crazy.
Yeah. I'm not gonna run out and see this, but there is a level of fascination to me.
Yes,
in
absolutely.
It. So like I wouldn't like turn this off if it were on. It's one of those things where I'm like, I can't look away.
Yeah,
it's colorful. It's like it's loud.
I do think Cats, whether that be the studio, the marketing team, whomever, should go all the way in this, and they should set it up where in the states where it's legal, where you go to the screening and they give you free, quote, catnip, Cat's brand catnip. It's just pure pot.
Okay.
And then you take that and then you just watch Cats and lose your fucking mind for 2 hours. That feels like that's the way to enjoy this.
Sure.
And for the people who genuinely get something from Cats, I would love it if you wrote in and, like, told us, like, what... is like, are these trailers doing anything for you as someone, as a Cats fan? Because again, we're coming at this from the perspective of two people who not only have not seen Cats, but don't know a goddamn thing about Cats.
All I know is
we are so on the outside.
There's a song in it called Memory. That's it.
And for us, I think that's maybe the most damning thing we can say about the marketing with this so far is Cats, the trailers, they're being exclusively pitched to the people who love Cats, and then
which is fine.
But then anyone else on the outside, like, is completely left in the dark, or in Idris Elba's case, the dust, trying to figure out what is happening.
I think for those non-Cat enthusiasts, they're going the draw they're going for is just star power. That's probably going to be enough. I have a feeling like Taylor Swift fans throughout the world might run, not walk, to go see this movie just because she's in it.
Sure.
Like, it doesn't even matter how small of a part she may have.
Yeah, she might not even have a feline in the movie.
I feel like you can deliver that better. Do a take two.
Okay.
Do a take two. It's a good joke, and I'm going to give you your worth.
Yeah, she might not even have a feline in the movie.
Excellent. That's much better.
Thank
better.
you.
It's all in the where you put the emphasis.
I was like, oh, should I, like, really lay it on the fact that I know this is an awful thing I'm saying, or should I just, like, play it straight? But you're right.
She probably doesn't even have any feet lines. Stupid, I'm cutting that.
Yours is bitter purely just because it brought you so much pleasure to say it.
I don't know about that. I laughed at it. So the marketing is very interesting. I think it's fascinating to look at, but in terms of upping our rating, for me, definitely not.
No.
It's not worse, but it's definitely not. Well, it is better, but
I was about to say, like,
because it does explain a little bit more about the world
let's
you're living in.
Let's say Never Need to See's worked like Dante's Inferno, and there were different layers
to it.
There's
7 levels of Never Need to Se's.
7 layers to it, and it's like they could have climbed up, maybe. Like, I feel like the second Cats trailer definitely fights tooth and nail to get up a few layers and Never Need to See them, but it is still a Never Need to See them.
Absolutely. Same for me. All right. That's it. That's all we got, Cats.
Ooh, okay, so we are going to take a pretty left turn when it comes to quality. We are going to stop talking about Cats, and we are going to go pre-Civil War for Antebellum.
911. What is your emergency? Are you there? Is anyone with you? Can you get to a safe area? Hello?
Antebellum.
Yep.
Isn't that the subtitle for John Wick 3?
No, that was Parabellum.
Okay.
It
Are
rhymes.
They
It
like?
rhymes.
Are they like?
Well, Parabellum refers to a gun, and Antebellum refers to a time period specifically before the American
So not
Civil
related.
War. No.
Okay,
no.
great. Well, that's great.
Yeah.
I'm learning a lot today.
So this is Antebellum. This is a teaser trailer. So by nature, we don't rate teasers because teasers, they're just meant to tease you. So we're just going to be going through this, giving our abridged thoughts on what's going on. So this starts really vividly with our setting being in the South during slavery. We see a slave being chased, and what's playing over this is audio of a 911 call. 911, what's your emergency? But the person who called isn't on the other line. It's just this 911 operator saying, hello, is anyone there? Hello, is anyone there?
And it's instantly fascinating because I watched this twice before I realized that you had two different time periods happening simultaneously right away, because my brain just like tuned out the voiceover of the 911 emergency call, and all it was focusing on was the period piece of like the Civil War stuff.
Well, it's because that imagery is so haunting. To see this woman, she has a cross around her neck, screaming and running for her life as these men are chasing her on a carriage.
Yeah. And then you just, in the background, you hear 911, what's your emergency? And you're just like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
No, it all adds up. And then it wasn't until the plane comes,
Sure.
where she looks up in 1800s and sees an airplane pop out of existence and then re-pop like 100 feet further.
Yeah.
Just pop back in. And it wasn't until then that I clocked it that, oh shit, we were just listening to a 911 call.
Right.
That doesn't make sense for the time period this was. It was like really all clicking at different times, which I found really interesting. So
Yeah, no, for the time it would have been 911, stop. What's your emergency? Stop. And then you would have to send another telegram back to them.
did they even?
A lot of people died back
I don't
in those
even
days.
think they had telegrams during the Civil War era.
I think they did.
Telegrams was like
right.
1930s and 40s.
Well, then it definitely was not around.
Yeah, I don't think telegrams were a thing, but it was just like, hey, over there, do you have an emergency? I'll go get help. It'll be 3 hours. You know, that's more what it would have been.
Yes, it would have. Anyway, we then get to modern times. We see a group of women who are going to go out. We get Janelle Monáe, who's going to be our protagonist, at least based on this teaser. We see her with her daughter. Life is good. She's going out with her friends when a carriage fucking whooshes by. And then we eventually see her get kidnapped. And given that we saw Janelle Monáe in that cold open, for lack of a better term, we see her horrified, but also just like flummoxed by what she's seeing by that woman being chased.
Yeah, in the opening, she isn't the one being chased. Someone is running towards her, right?
Yes.
And she's just kind of like, she looks dead inside.
Yeah.
Like she has gone through some shit.
Yeah.
And then obviously the trailer backtracks. Mm-hmm. So when we're in modern day, it's like, okay, she's getting kidnapped. And then our wheels as an audience, as, you know, viewers of this teaser start turning. And it's like, you start to theorize. And it's like, are people kidnapping women or black women and then teleporting them to the past to work on like these plantations? Like, what is this movie about? I was like, what is happening? And then the title card came up of like from the producers of Get Out and Us, and I'm like, oh, there's gonna be some like Twilight Zone-y shit happening in here that like I don't even know where it's gonna go.
Yeah, and it definitely remains fairly vague as to how we get these people back to the South and like why there's just like creepy white children hanging around and
saying shh.
Yeah, basically.
You gotta end a trailer. You gotta end a teaser trailer.
But man, that the first like 15 seconds of this trailer is just great. I think like that juxtaposition between the audio of the 911 call with images of Antebellum South is just so striking to me. Like, just given how much police brutality affects African American communities, to mix, you know, okay, 911, what's your emergency? And you're trying to get help, but now we see this woman being chased by these slave drivers. You can either make the connection that like slave drivers are kind of like antebellum era cops, or you can just make a general connection between police brutality. But then we see Janelle Monáe, we see our point of view character as they're repeating, are you still there? are you still there?
Yeah.
And it's like also kind of begging around too for what are you going to do right now? Like, you're in this situation. How will you react? And you can tell just based on Monet's performance, she is ultimately powerless in this scenario, and there isn't really much for her to do, but she knows she should be doing something.
I think helpless is like a feeling that a vibe that I get from the trailer overall.
Yeah.
Not even just her, but like everyone I see in it is just like, we're focusing on the helplessness that they feel, the overpoweredness, that they feel, whatever the situation is, which we don't know. And that's why it's so fascinating. I think the trailer deserves a better button ending than just a creepy white girl saying shh.
Right.
Like, it seems a little tropey and cliche.
Yeah. We can
to
do...
end something so unique
Yeah.
with something so cliche was a little off-putting.
Kids are creepy.
Yeah. Okay, we know.
We started so strong.
We've all seen The Shining. It's like, we get it. Come and play with us, Monet. So I think
we loved your last album, Monet.
I think this teaser deserves a better ending, but I'm not saying that shush moment is bad in context in the movie. I'm just saying the teaser deserved a better ending.
Definitely.
But really solid. Really solid stuff.
Yeah.
It's got me hooked, so.
Yeah, we are definitely going to keep our eyes out for Antebellum, but now we're going to talk about a trailer we can give a rating to, and oh boy, I'm glad we can.
I'm so excited.
All right. So again, it's a pretty slow week for trailers. We have to talk about something. James, like an archangel, was able to pull through for us.
You guys, it was either this or all the countless Star Wars Rise of Skywalker TV spots, and I'm not going to watch those.
Sure.
So we're going down the rabbit hole instead.
So we have pulled this bunny out of the hat for you guys. This is The Christmas Prince 3, The Royal Baby.
I want this baby to have a normal life.
Our child will be heir to the kingdom.
Still, I went to public school, and I was riding the subway by myself when I was 10.
No subway riding.
Well, luckily for you, Aldovia doesn't have a subway.
Tonight, Your Majesties will sign the truce between Aldovia and Penglia.
Let the signing begin.
If the sacred truce is broken, there will be a curse on the firstborn child. If the treaty isn't signed by midnight Christmas Eve, it takes effect.
The treaty is missing, and if we don't find it, our baby is cursed. I don't know if I'm ready to be a queen and a mom. I can't even reach my own slippers.
Allow me. Perfect fit.
Happy Christmas, unless you're a peasant, because this is only for the royal family, baby. This is a Christmas Prince 3, the royal baby.
That's us, right?
Yeah. I mean,
sure, we're royal.
Trailer reviewer royalty, I guess.
Why not?
Yeah. This is directed by John Schultz. This is written by Nate Atkins. This is starring Rose McIver, Ben Lamb, Sarah Douglas, and Theo Devaney. Our random shout out, because we here at Trailer Hitch like to give random shout outs to cast and crew members because the top billed people tend to hog all the credit. So we are going to give a shout out to Tudor Valanchu, who is the art department PA. Hey, Tudor, we saw a tacky scroll in this movie. We assume you had to move it at a couple of points. And we just like to say, thanks, Tudor. You did a great job.
You did a great job. It's a big part of the movie.
All right, so this will be a question that I will attempt to answer at the top.
Okay.
It's the usual one I start with.
Okay.
But it's going to be an open-ended one throughout this review. What's going on in The Christmas Prince 3, The Royal Baby? So here's how we start. We get a montage of the first two Christmas princes. And if you did not know that there were two other Christmas princes...
Join the club.
Yeah, we are accepting members right now.
Yeah.
So it's like we see this montage of, okay, so this lady, she's an American, not unlike Meghan Markle with whatever British jabroni she married.
She's an American and she married Prince Harry or William,
some
whatever.
Some equivalent.
The redhead one.
Yeah.
The one who's never going to get the throne.
Correct.
Yeah.
So that's what we get in our opening montage. It's like, American lady and a Brit dude who's super privileged fall in love.
Yep.
They get married. And now this one got that kid. So they are now like, okay, like we're going to have our kid. This is super exciting. And then I don't know why a scroll gets involved.
Look, I said it before, Kevin, but it's like Netflix made these first 2 movies. It's like that we want to tap into that daydream that all the women have of marrying a royal in the UK.
Sure.
Maybe not just women, but whatever. Just people want to experience that. We hit on that.
And thank you for specifying that, because I would marry a princess if
Absolutely.
given the opportunity.
And so they wanted to tap in to that daydream.
Yeah.
And they did it. Twice. And so for the 3rd time around, it's like we gotta bring something else to the table. What could we possibly do? And just like the guy in the back room was like, I got an idea. How about a scroll that's 300 years old that if you don't renegotiate it, it causes a curse if you happen to be pregnant at the time. It'll never happen, but right?
That's fair, and thank you. Yes, so like the reason why the scroll exists is it's basically like it's a trade agreement.
It's so dumb.
We see Meghan Markle talking to some lady, and she's like, maybe you should fucking give us more land and money. And this woman's like, why would we ever do that? And she's like, sometimes you gotta break a few solvency agreements in order to make an omelet. You know what I'm saying?
It's essentially the line that they have in Booksmart trailer of well-behaved women seldom make history or something that. It's supposed to be along those sides, but it's like really, really watered down.
Yeah,
something like that.
You even get, because I think the reaction shot for who Meghan Markle is talking to is supposed to be a moment where this woman is like, oh wow, you're so right, and that's so deep. But
my gosh. Wow.
But the way that actress plays it, it's just kind of confusion. It's like, no, I'm not going to fucking renegotiate this part of the deal that benefits my country.
No, yeah, my family members would murder me probably for changing things.
Right, exactly.
Royalty is about tradition. That's it. That's our job.
So they have to renegotiate this thing, right? And everyone's like, all right, we're like coming together to do this. And then the scroll vanishes.
No, Kevin.
And yeah, that's the thing. You might be like, all right, big fucking deal. We probably have copiers in the royal castle. I'm sure there's another copy of it somewhere. Don't worry about it. But there is a specific line within this treaty that's like, if this scroll is to ever go missing and they fail to renegotiate, then a curse is placed on the firstborn son in the royal family.
Yep.
And they're like, fuck, that's our baby. Now, bear in mind, we never get any specification for what this curse is. I would like to think, just because Ready or Not took it to really extreme lengths, but that's an American rich family. That's that's American old money. I think for British old money, I feel like the curse should be something as innocuous as someone pronounces bequeathed wrong, and that makes the queen faint. And given how old she is, you can't take the risk of her fainting these days. That's broken bones at a minimum.
Absolutely,
so,
yeah.
You know, stakes are, I guess, high, and they have to figure out where the scroll went. So it becomes effectively like a Nancy Drew Hardy Boys style mystery, but with a queen and a king.
But it's a Hallmark romance still.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, they're going after that Hallmark dollar.
Right?
It's like we lost all of our Disney programming.
Yeah.
What's another company that we can just eat the viewer base for?
Yeah, did Hallmark get their own streaming service yet? No? Okay, great. We're going to keep
exploiting the shit out of that,
the
then.
hell
Let's
out
go.
of these movies. Yeah. That's it. That's this trailer in a nutshell.
The story, yeah.
They keep diverging from the bonkers interesting curse stuff, that's the reason we're talking about this trailer today, guys.
It comes out of nowhere.
I would have.
It plays as a romantic comedy trailer for the first minute and a half, and all of a sudden,
But a bad one.
Well, yeah.
So I'm like, when I was watching this trailer, I'm like, we're not gonna talk about this on the show. And then the curse got brought into it, and I'm like, okay. Well, if nothing else comes up, maybe this has legs. Nothing else came up, but also the more I thought about it, the more bonkers and crazy this is. But the weirdest thing is they keep derailing from the curse storyline just to focus on like cutesy romantic moments of like, oh, I can't reach my slippers because I'm so pregnant. Well, let me do like the Cinderella thing with your slipper. Perfect fit. That's how the trailer ends. boring.
That's the button.
What a snooze fest. I'm like, tell me more about this curse. I have to know. Is her insides just gonna melt if they don't find the scrolls?
Or does she just give birth to the Antichrist?
Oh, that's an excellent question. These are important things that I need to know. I don't care about this slipper moment.
Yeah. I mean, like, I have empathy for her that her feet are swollen during her pregnancy. But, we're so beyond that. Like, there's a missing scroll, and apparently it's going to signal doom for multiple kingdoms.
If not the universe.
Basically. We have to lock this shit down right now, and the trailer doesn't.
Yeah.
Are any of the parts within this interesting on their own merits? God, no.
No, it's the marriage of all of this weirdness.
Yeah.
that makes it interesting.
It's because, like, the romance doesn't necessarily work for me because it is purely going off of, wouldn't it be cool to bang royalty? They have a thing where, like, they're on a carriage ride when she's pregnant and she's like, I'd like our kid to, like, have, like, a sort of normal upbringing. The king is like, well, okay. But he won't be riding the subway. And they're like, yeah.
And she's like, well, good thing there's no subways here anyway. We don't have to have a fight about it. What?
What are we doing?
What is this about? You asked the question at the head of this.
Yeah.
What
is this
What is
about?
happening? What is happening in
What
this?
is going on
What
here?
is going on? We don't know. It's interesting, but we don't know.
It's a never need to see in terms of the
Absolutely.
trailer.
If I've ever seen a never need to see, this is one of them.
However, you got to watch the shit out of this trailer.
I've never been excited about adding a never need to see movie to our like grab bag of punishment never need to see movies until today.
Yeah.
I'm like, if we ever have to punish ourselves and watch a double never need to see movie, we're not even doing a vote. We're gonna pick this one because it's on Netflix. We have the means, and it's gonna be fun to watch it and make fun of it.
We're gonna have like a stacked never need to see poll because it's gonna be like this and Cats and.
Oh my God, you're right. Cats is there too.
They fixed Sonic, but there was a period when like the abominable Sonic the Hedgehog was on there too. It was going to be. It was going to be tough choosings, so...
That's right. That's all we got. Double never need to sees.
All right, so we're not going to be going and running out to see that in a theater, although there's a deep, sick part of me that kind of wants to. We did, however, go out and see a couple movies, so we're going to be going into our trailer in the review segment. We ended up seeing Little Monsters. We were completely taken by the trailer. We were completely taken by the Lupita Nyong'o's character.
Yeah.
What her arc was, but we also found it really charming and funny too.
Yeah.
And so we gave it a watch, and this is what we got. Let's do it.
It's zombies again. Fast ones or slow ones, sir? Slow.
Stop the tractor! Are you okay? Yes! Who remembers how to play tag? Well, those funny-looking people out there are it. We have kids out here!
Oh my God! I don't give a shit.
What are we doing? We're scared. What's the song we can sing?
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. My job is to keep you safe. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
How do you like it, huh? Oh God, what have I done?
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
Right, so the first section of these trailer and review reviews is to always sit back and see if the trailer properly set us up for the film.
Absolutely, because at the end of the day, our podcast is about, do these trailers make us want to see this movie? Mm-hmm. These trailers did. After seeing the movie, Kevin, do you think that the trailer that you were sold on was what you expected the movie
emblematic
to be?
Of the movie?
Yeah.
No, not at all.
So before we dive into it, I'm gonna piggyback off of that and say, fuck no. This is a completely different movie. Not so much in tone, but in terms of
is absolutely there.
Just like what we're following and what this is about.
Right.
Completely different than what the trailers told us.
If you watch that trailer and your presumption was Lupita Nyong'o's character was the protagonist of the story, the central character,
yep,
I would say that is completely reasonable because that's what the trailer is telling you.
I signed up for seeing Lupita Nyong'o's next movie a zombie comedy.
Correct. And that is not really what this is.
Absolutely. No.
So,
yeah, it's not, period.
It gets...
She is a supporting role in this, I feel.
It kind of, sort of, like, once we get more into the middle of the movie, it does kind of get half and half to a degree between it being Lupita Nyong'o and who the main character is.
Should we dive into that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So...
It doesn't sell the movie properly.
No, but I mean, like, still kind of in the context of the trailer. So if you watch that trailer, you will see a guy who, if you squint, kind of looks like a Hemsworth. He has a total of two lines of dialogue and one scared grunt in that 2.5 minute set. And
I thought he was like an extra the first time I saw this trailer.
I mean, like, you get the sense, like, and those shots are so brief, but you get the sense that he's a chaperone or something like that, which he is in the movie. That is what his character is.
So that's correct, anyway.
That is correct. And if you've seen the trailer and you're like, I don't know who you're talking about, I don't blame you because I didn't either, but buckle up. That's your main character. That's who we spend the first 20 to 30 minutes of the movie with.
And it's not only... It would be one thing if it was this weird bait and switch where we thought we were seeing a Lupita Nyong'o movie. Mm-hmm. And it was like, just kidding, this guy's actually the main character.
Right.
That would be one thing. But to take it as far as Lupita Nyong'o isn't even in the movie until like 30 minutes in.
Right.
That's taking it to a whole other level. It is all about this guy. This, like... stoner.
The best way I can describe his character is picture Shaun from Shaun of the Dead, just to make it easier because it's a zombie comedy.
Of course.
Picture Shaun, but he's almost defiant in wanting to stick with his teenage fixations, like of fucking and smoking weed and being a musician, and the movie makes it a point to throw massive quotes around that.
And just not wanting to be an adult in general.
Right. Yeah. And he's outwardly churlish to anyone who challenges him on that. And he's incredibly aggressive about being a man-child. And I found it easier to root for Shaun because even though he was a fuck-up, he was incredibly aware that he was a fuck-up, but didn't quite know how to get to that next step.
You could tell that he strived for, you know, being a person that other people can rely on and wants to depend on, and he just doesn't know how to get there. Whereas this guy just
more or less, like, if
doesn't care about anything.
Like the snowman, Mr. Police, you have all the clues. Like, you get broken up with in the first 5 minutes of the movie. You have, like, he crashes on the couch with his sister, who outwardly tells him, you need to do these 4 things. And he's just like, nah. And it makes it harder to empathize with him.
No, you can't empathize with him, period. He's like, oh, can you do these things? And he's like, no, and I'm going to keep living here. What are you going to do about it?
Right.
Like, no, I hate this person.
Yeah.
I hate this person.
He's
so
outwardly obnoxious.
We spent 30 minutes with no Lupita Nyong'o and this asshole who I hated.
Yeah.
And then
zero zombies in this,
and zero zombies in the first 30 minutes. We finally get into some of Lupita Nyong'o is the teacher of his nephew. We finally start getting into that. They go to this farm.
Yeah.
And then I fell asleep. And I didn't even finish the movie.
Hey, I found it actively hard to make it through these first 30 minutes too.
It's such a chore after what it sold me on from the trailer.
Yeah. And that's something that we want to talk about because I understand when reviewing trailers, it can get kind of hard to say like, oh, this is what you should do when cutting a trailer and this is what you shouldn't do when cutting a trailer. And
it's a scale,
those,
you know?
Yeah. And it's, if I'm editing this movie, I would take a look at this Hemsworth-looking fella, think this guy's completely obnoxious. I'm not interested in him. I don't empathize with him. Clearly, Lupita Nyong'o has the strongest character in this. And so, like, if I had creative control, yeah, I'd cut that guy from this movie. And I will say, I know you fell asleep, but, like, they do get him to a better place by the end of the movie.
Well, I'm sure they do.
But, like, he's so outwardly terrible in the beginning that the 180 he pulls is almost unbelievable. this is the weakest aspect of the movie, is like the point of view character who we have. And so if I had creative control, and like if I was making a trailer, I would be tempted to cut that guy completely from the movie because most of his shit doesn't land. And that's, I don't want to make it sound like I'm denigrating the actor. He plays the part exactly as he should be.
No, absolutely. And I want to be clear too. I don't have anything against the performance.
Yeah.
But the reason it doesn't work for me is because I was sold on a different movie from the trailer.
Right.
If they had cut a different trailer where he is in it fucking 10% more than he is, maybe it would have landed for me better. But I was just so taken off guard by the fact that Lupita Nyong'o is still not in this movie. 30 minutes, like, I kept checking my watch. I'm like, where is she?
Yeah. I would be tempted to cut him from the movie. And, like, I feel like the movie is stronger without that character.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, sure, he has an arc, but like we talk about,
but his arc isn't nearly as interesting as what.
Well, and that's my point, and we've talked about this countless times. Arcs are important; they are.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, there's something more important. And in terms of, if you look at a movie and go, "There's an entertaining movie in here," and what do we need to do to make it that entertaining movie? Is cut this character arc. Do that.
Yeah.
Like, make the better movie for having no character arc. It happens every once in a while.
And it does, but it's one of those things where I think just because she's not the main character, Nyong'o doesn't really get an arc.
Well, I got that vibe. I fell asleep, but I got that vibe.
But if you say lose 30 minutes of this guy,
you
have
care
the time,
less, maybe.
Yeah, you have the time to flesh her out to give her one.
Oh, sure.
You know
Give
what I mean?
that 30 minutes.
And bear
to
in mind,
her,
whether it's her performance or just the character in general, and I do think the conceit behind her character is amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, like once you give her time, you can give her more of like she starts here, let's say she wants to protect these kids, and not just literally from the zombie apocalypse, but their innocence too. And yeah, everything is fine. It's all just a game, kids. This is just red jam and jelly. But eventually it's going to hit a point where you're probably going to have to break it to these kids that everything is fucked. And how are you going to do that? And are they going to hold it against you for being the one to effectively shatter their innocence?
Yep.
Now, bear in mind, I know it's a comedy.
Or are they going to hold it together at all?
Exactly.
They might fall apart at the seams.
And bear in mind, I know it's a comedy. What we're saying isn't very yuckful, but at the same time...
No. That, you know what? There is room for those kind of poignant moments in comedy.
Absolutely.
That makes the comedy even more special. Like freaking Galaxy Quest, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. It has moments of just like sincerity and just like it. There is like I don't know if you've seen Galaxy Quest.
Yeah.
They're actors, but aliens think they're actually, space astronauts who go on these adventures. There is a moment in the movie, and it's later on, he has to break to the alien.
We're not
what you think we are.
That's true.
We've been living this farce. And now it's to the point where I have to break this to you. You
deliberately went out of your way because you thought we could help you.
Yeah.
And you didn't realize we were all just
lying.
Playing pretend.
We were lying.
Yeah.
And it's this heartbreaking moment in this movie, but it comes, before and after amazing yucks. Yeah. So you can do it.
Well, and even to keep it with zombie comedy, Shaun of the Dead. I tried to save my friends. I tried to save Ed. I couldn't even save my mom. But you tried, Sean. Is like still one of like the strongest moments in that movie.
The fucking theme, man, is trying.
Yeah.
And whether it means having to break someone's innocence, and take that away, it doesn't matter. It means you're trying your hardest
to prepare them for what the world is.
Exactly.
Yeah, and there's so much room for a great zombie comedy.
And honestly, you could even have more. That opens up the doors for you to have different kinds of jokes after you make that move.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
God damn, that would have been a better movie. But yeah, unfortunately, it's hard, man, because as a trailer editor, it's like I completely understand the impulse to not want to give us that character.
Yeah.
And it's really hard because, but this is a trailer, and ultimately this is supposed to be giving me what the movie is. And so when the bait and switch is as wild as this, Man, it's really fucking hard to forgive it. Bad movie correspondent Jenny Hawks was talking to us about it, and she pitched a different view, which was, well, the guy, he isn't a big known actor. Lupita Nyong'o is, so they may have just been focusing on her because Lupita Nyong'o is the name that's going to get people in the theater.
For sure, yeah.
Which, that makes sense too. There are a couple of reasons why they would have cut a trailer that would have hid the main character in the trailers. Either way, though, you're hiding the main character from the trailer, and it made me actively had to, like, find the good in the movie as I was watching it, and, like, I had to make it a point to separate. It's like, it's not fair to put, like, what I wanted this movie to be based off the trailer on the movie. But it's so, like, that's so difficult, especially when you're as taken by
the trailer.
By the trailer, what the premise is.
I think that's what it ends up being, yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows? Someone on Hulu may have thrown this on, not seeing the trailer, and was like, this is amazing. And that's great. But the reason you make trailers is to get people excited about things, not only just to sell the star power. Mm-hmm. Like, there is a level of that. I understand it's a business, but at the same time, it's like, there should be a level of truthfulness in your marketing, and I think this one missed the mark.
Regardless of if it was a creative decision or if it was a marketing decision.
A business decision.
This is definitely, in retrospect now, like, not a good trailer, just on that premise.
Exactly,
and it's hard, too, because, you watch that trailer and it works, but based on that level of, are you telling me what's going on in this movie in an enticing way? You're giving me the enticing part. You're not giving me the what this movie is, though.
Yeah.
You're shooing that to stick with enticing. Mm-hmm. And that's where the distinguishing factor comes for me.
Yep.
Yeah, as far as the movie itself, I will say it does get better once Lupita Nyong'o is there, once the zombies come.
Totally. I wouldn't know.
I know.
Because I fell asleep.
That's fair. Josh Gad has some really fun moments in it. So I do think the movie rallies considerably after the zombie show. So from, like, the second act on, I think it is charming in certain parts. I think once the guy
makes his switch,
he's intensely likable after that. Like,
that's wild to me,
right?
Because I hated him so much.
Same, man. Lupita Nyong'o's great in it. It makes me want Lupita Nyong'o to do more comedy because I think her timing is really strong.
I mean, it's present in the trailer. Yeah. Like, that's why it sold me on it. I'm like, holy shit! Like, her comedic timing is really good.
So yeah, for me, the movie on its own merit is a should have waited. It's not a bad watch. If you feel like skipping ahead when you're watching The Man-Child for the first 20 minutes, I don't blame you.
Just go for it, maybe.
Maybe I'll look it up and put in the description for the episode the time code you should skip to, just for when it starts to be more fun. But if you muscle through the beginning, it gets substantially better.
And I know, for me, I fell asleep, but at the same time, I do feel like this is still a should have waited for me. It's not as offensive as Never Should Have Seen It, but from your I guess what I'm saying is, from your description, I'm at a should have waited. Also.
All right. Well, you go and watch that again. Don't worry. So if you liked this episode, or maybe you didn't, you can hit us up on Facebook. If you just search Trailer Hitch Podcast on there, you'll be able to find us there. Otherwise, you can hit us up on Twitter. If you want to keep those missives to 280 characters, hit us up at Trailer Hitch Pod. Otherwise, if you would like a long missive, you can go ahead, email us at trailerhitchmailbox@gmail.com. Otherwise, if you want to take a picture with what you wanted to say about maybe The Christmas Prince 3, The Royal Baby.
Well, how could you not?
Do that at Trailer Hitch Podcast on Instagram. Otherwise, you could leave a comment on YouTube. If you search Trailer Hitch Podcast on YouTube, if you wanted to subscribe to us there, let's say you're in a situation where it's like, I'm at work and it's really, really obvious if I'm listening to an MP3 player or my phone, but I am at a computer all day, you can listen to us on YouTube. Go ahead, subscribe to us there. You'll be able to get all of our content through there. You can comment on that too. We can read that stuff off on the show with your permission, of course. Otherwise, if you wanted to listen to more of the show and you're like, I don't have to worry about listening to things at a computer desk, what's up here? You can find us on Stitcher. If you're an Android user, you can find all of our content through them. Otherwise, if you are an Apple user, Apple Podcasts or iTunes or whatever the hell it is right now, you'll be able to find all of our material through there as well.
That's right.
Please feel free to rate us, subscribe to us, like us, comment, review. do all of the things. It helps us find more listeners, helps us get to talk about more wacky movie trailers that either sell the movie effectively or fucking don't. Before we go, we would like to thank Danny Schmitz from Lost in a Name for the beautiful intro song that you hear at the top of every episode. We would also like to thank Rachel Ashley for the amazing cover art that you see on all of our various social medias and various streaming platforms. You can find her work at Mighty Creations on Instagram. Otherwise, we'd like to thank Jenny Hawks, our Bad Movie and social media correspondent, for her sterling work week in and week out. And we would like to thank Casey Clowers for the amazing outro song, which you are going to hear in just a second.
1 second. And now.
Trailer Hitch.
What was that?
I'm done snapping. I'm just going to crack my knuckles against it to see if that's
that
enough.
Was?
Yep. There you go. Oh, that's good.
That was a
nice.
Thank you. Do I have a sternum one in me?
Do you have sternum ones?
Yeah. Not right now, though.
That might be worth going to a doctor for.
That's what everyone tells me, but I'm like, it feels still good, though. Something that feels that good can't be bad, right?